Olajumoke Adenowo is a multiple award-winning architect and has constantly been referred to as the face of architecture in Nigeria. She is a pioneer recipient of the keenly contested New African Women Business Award and was also nominated for the West African Businesswoman of the Year Award and CNBC All Africa Business Leaders Award in 2014. She is an alumnus of a number of prestigious institutions, including the Yale School of Management, the IESE Business School, University of Navarra, Barcelona, Spain, Lagos Business School, Chief Executive Program in 2002, and I could go on and on and on. She's also a member of the Institute of Chartered Arbitrators UK. She has authored several books, including Lifespring, The Mother's Prayer Manual, Child of Destiny, Covenant Forces, Mysterious Seed, and Designed for Marriage. We are privileged to have her on set this morning as we commemorate International Women's Day. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the achievements and accolades that you have received going along. First, this being International Women's Day, maybe just help us understand what is it that we're supposed to get out of the day?
I think what it is that we need to focus again on women. Because sometimes we forget we're always amongst you, but you need to remember that we do have issues. Foremost this year being gender parity. We're thinking 50-50 by 2030. That means we want gender parity, equality in the workplace by 2030.
When we talk about 50-50, what exactly does that mean?
It means we want equality. It means if a woman is as qualified as a man and is doing exactly the same job a man is doing, she shouldn't be paid less.
Is that the case currently?
It is the case, documented. And this happens from America to Afghanistan to everywhere. There are case studies on this, and this is the way it is. We believe that women should actually be compensated and not punished for being the ones who bear the next generation, and for the fact that we do have seasons in our life. And this is a changing workplace. Therefore, women have a lot more to contribute than perhaps during the Industrial Revolution. We're in a situation where it's about emotional intelligence, and you know what a woman brings to the table with the way she thinks with her left and her right brain. I could go on and on. But what we're saying is that women do have a lot to contribute, and to think that we can tackle the problems of the world without 50% of the human race coming to the table equally is like fighting with one arm tied behind your back. So this is what International Women's Day is about. Let us focus on this other silent, sometimes gender that is amongst us, that does so much for the human race.
All right, we have a tendency normally to focus and highlight the negative, as though there is no positive. Is there, I'm sure there are strides that have been made in regards to having equity with women coming on board. Maybe could we just talk a little bit about that before we also look at now some of the steps that need to be made for us to get the 50-50 that you're talking about?
Without a doubt, in many countries, even in the United States, there was a time when women could not even vote. So at least now women have the vote. Are they represented in politics? That's something else. But we have made strides. Sometimes there was a time when women could not be educated.
Could not vote.
No, we talk voting, we could not be educated, but all that is changing. Rapidly, things are changing, but you know, there are better strides that we can make.
You're a very accomplished lady, according to the CV that Michael has read to us.
Thank you, I'm humbled.
My question would be, what do you consider to be the most important enabling factors that helped you as a woman, or that have helped you as a woman make certain strides that are difficult for regular women to make? What are some of those enabling factors that you would say have helped you to get to where you are? And how do we avail them to other women?
It's going to be almost like a cliche, but the most important factor in my life is having an educated mother. And you know, it happens. My mother is a professor of criminology, and she didn't have to tell me that women could do certain things. I just saw her do it. So it took me a long time. Nobody told me that you're a woman, you're the weaker sex. You're a woman, you should dumb down. You're a woman, you shouldn't speak. You're a woman, you shouldn't be heard. I was probably 30 before it was pointed out to me very pointedly in some backward place in Nigeria that, you know, you're a woman, you shouldn't speak. And I had to think, I'm a woman, there's something wrong with me. And somebody forgot to tell me. So you see, having the right parents growing up in your formative years, being told that you can do what you can do, you are a valuable member of society, that was the greatest enabling factor.
So do we have women currently that one can look up to and say, these are the women? Because you've mentioned your mother was your direct influence and made you who you are today, just by virtue of the fact that you saw what she did. Are there women that we have that women can look up to and say, because she has done it, I too can do it?
Fantastic, wonderful question. Let's come back home to Kenya. Look at Wangari Maathai. You look at Charity Nguli. You look at Ngilo, thank you. She didn't have to win the presidency. The whole idea was to demystify the position and say, it is possible for a woman to go for it. The same thing with Hillary Clinton. It's not about winning. It's about sowing the seed of the possibility in young minds. And there are women all over the world like that we can look up to. Even younger women like Malala that you can look up to and say, if they can do it, so can I too. And interestingly, that's what women need the most, just to know that another woman can do it.
Now, there seems to also be a notion that it's meant to be pushed by women. What inclusion or what contribution can men have to that debate? Because one time we had a debate here where we were saying, for us to say that we are including women, do women have to be seated on the set? Can we also have men that literally push the agenda of women?
Certainly. In fact, it cannot be done alone. It's a teamwork. It's not competition. Both genders complement each other. So the United Nations has pushed an agenda called he for she, because we have men who must stand for women. And that is the way it can work. Because women don't even have the platform sometimes to even make the case. So we need men, heroes like you, to stand for us.
To stand for you.
Yes.
All right. Now, looking at some of the steps that need to be made. We've talked about the positive, because they are there. We've talked there are women who we can look up to. But what are some of the strides that need to be made for women then to now come onto the forefront and have that equity?
If we look at politically in Africa so far, the way campaign finance is structured is such that no matter what the case may be, women who are not that financially empowered cannot step up to the plate. So if this is something that will benefit the whole of the continent, but if we look at restructuring campaign finance so that the playing field is flatter, then women can actually be rated on the value of, on the basis of the value they bring to the table, and not how much they spend. So we can look at the reform of campaign finance, and then we can look. I don't believe that women should just be given a place because they're women. I don't believe in tokenism. I believe you should bring merit to the table. You should bring value. But when a woman and a man can contribute the same, be gender blind, let me put it that way, and make sure that the best person gets the job. It's very funny that even companies, corporates, do not think about including women. They should be inclusive, because at least over 50% of those who use most of the goods and services and products are women. So you should know what they think, so that you can design better products, you can market better products, you can sell better products. So it is profitable to think about women and to include them. What do we do also? Let's think about women have seasons in their lives. They will birth the next generation. And they will need some time off to go do that. So they shouldn't be punished for that. You shouldn't be looked down on because you took some months away from work to go and make sure that there is a new generation in Kenya, a new generation in Nigeria, or else we'll be stuck with looking for, not a diversity visa, if I could go there, because who will be coming to?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have to go and
all right, as we
people.
wind up, I know you're a mother of 2 boys.
Yes,
and there has been the notion that this push for women, equity, and the gender thing, there has been a lot of concentration on the girl child until the boy child has been involved. From the perspective, has been ignored. From the perspective of a mother, do you think that's true? And secondly, is it bound to also now affect the boy child?
I think the boy child, from the perspective of a woman with 2 beautiful sons, and it's one is 20 today, it's his birthday today, International Women's Day, I would say the boy child has had millennia of being focused on. Millennia of being celebrated, especially in Africa, just by being born a boy. He had no hand in it, you understand? So I think that the time has come to focus on the rest of humanity so that we can catch up a little.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Olajumoke Adenowo. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
You're doing well enough.
Thank you very much. That's where we'll have to wind up the interview. But do stay with us right here on Morning Express. We've got Newsroom coming up very, very shortly. And remember, today is International Women's Day, and we'll also focus on that on Newsroom. So we'll take a short break. We'll be right back.